Hi, welcome back, and thanks for being here. I remember when I went and did my first 200-hour yoga teacher training in Thailand. I left my parents' house when I was 28 years old. And when I came back about a year later, my mom said, I don't know much about yoga, but you're a lot nicer. And it's true. I went into yoga, and it was the first time that ever I could find a space where I was at peace, where my mind was quiet, where I wasn't always arguing in my own head. After decades of practice, I've learned that that's the natural way that the mind works. So, yoga invites us to be more observant, first with our body and the way that we hold it, and then eventually with our mind and the postures we hold in the experiences we go through. So how our thoughts then affect our actions become really obvious. Yoga teaches us how to be in a more compassionate mind state. As you remember from yesterday's video, as we learn perspective, we begin to see with a little bit more of an open heart that every person that we encounter has dealt with a lot in life. So we can do the practice on our mat and start to learn how to breathe to quiet down our mind. And then eventually, when we become advanced yogis, we can start to hear the way that our mind, our monologue talks, and we can change it. So the old school yogis say it's natural to have negative, argumentative, and self-righteous thoughts. So stop and don't react on those thoughts, but take a deep breath. Get a clearer mind, step back from a wiser perspective, and then we can move forward with a bigger heart. But it's tricky because it's like we get triggered with our own frustration, our own stress. I've noticed that with myself. When I'm stressed, that's when I maybe will react a little less kindly in a conversation to someone that I love. But it all starts with how we treat ourselves. When we look in the mirror, when we're on social media, how do we talk to ourselves? And coming into a place of acceptance and joy takes some time, it takes some practice. I'm still learning. But let's begin in a child's pose. With your knees wide and toes together to touch, you can sit your booty on your heels and walk your hands forward. As you lower your head to the floor, take a slow couple deep breaths. And take a minute to really forgive anything that's been going on in your life and wipe the slate clean with your breath. So imagine that all your stories, all your stresses were written on the whiteboard at school. And when you take a deep breath in and out, it's like you're slowly washing all the words, all the stories, all the language out of our experience. Breathe in. Sweep the breath through your whole body to your low back. And breathe out. And as your forehead hits the floor and you start to slow down the rhythm of your breath and slow down the pace of your mind and your life, ask yourself to be a little more kind. Today we'll access the front of the heart. But as you breathe here, can you also feel the back of the heart? Watch the way that your breath moves along your body. And in each pose today, I invite you to study the body and study the breath and begin to study the way that your mind talks, because it tends to talk you through everything. Could you take a moment and be a little more kind and listen? One more deep breath in, please. And full breath out. When you're completely empty, you can inhale, lift your torso, plant your palms, spread your fingers nice and wide, and we'll put some dynamic movement into the spine. Inhale, extend your right leg long to the back wall, lift your heart, roll your shoulder blades on the back. And exhale, round your back, press into the pads of the fingers and drop your head. So move slow, please. Take your entire inhale like you're moving through mud. And then take your whole exhale to round into a ball. The muscles are strong on the bone. Hug the leg up. Last one. Inhale, right leg high. And exhale, step it all the way back like it was in high plank pose. Good. Press through the heel. You can extend the hips and even lift off the left knee just a little bit. Almost like a runner's stance. Drop your head. Take a big breath in. Pull the front of your hips back. And breathe out. Good. Land your knees back on the earth. Reconnect with your entire handprint. And inhale, extend your left leg to the wall behind you. Lift your heart. Exhale, round. So maybe close your eyes. And instead of using your mind to cognitively explain this experience or shift into a different problem to solve, just feel what it's like to move your body with your breath, like you are dancing. Good. Exhale, step it all the way back. Touch the toes, press through the back heel, and then extend through your hips. Relax your head, maybe bend your left knee as well, but either way, take one more big breath. Maybe you could even stretch your armpits. You reach your hips up so much. And exhale, lower the knees. Put both knees on the floor, flip your toes under. Inhale, reach your hands up to the sky. As you exhale, bend your elbows like a cactus and roll your shoulder blades down your back. Good. It's just a little movement. Inhale, reach your hands up. Walk your back rib up the wall behind you. And exhale, bend your elbows. Lift your chest. 2 more. Inhale, we're juicing up them shoulder joints. And exhale. Move lovingly, softly, sweetly. Inhale. All the way to the end of your stretch. And then exhale as you transfer into the second verse. Good. Reach your hands forward. Sit on your heels. Flip your toes under. You can see me. And sit right on your heels. Interlace your fingers. And then wrap the palms forward. Good. Lift your hands all the way to the sky. Lower your chin. Lower your eyelids. So notice that when poses get a little difficult, just like any part of life, our mind gets sharp. Take 2 more breaths here to start to repattern your mind, to not find softness like a weakness, but a sweetness. 1 more big breath in and breathe out. Good. Release the hands. It takes great strength, come to the top of your space, to begin to fight or resist the desire to leave a situation because it's a little uncomfortable. Top of your space. Inhale, extend your arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms, little back bend. You can bend your knees. Lift the tip of your heart. Good. 1 more. Inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Draw your heart up, up, up. Inhale, reach your hands skyward. Grab your right wrist and side bend. Maybe you step a little wider. Inhale, center. Left wrist, side bend. Pull it over to the right. 1 more each side. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out. Press into both feet and relax your neck. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach your hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, right in half. Inhale, float your heart forward, halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your palms. Step back as if you're about to do a push-up. Lower your knees to the floor. Inhale, lift your right leg and your chest. And then this time, maybe bend your knee and take the right leg with your left hand. Just 2 breaths. Breathe in, kick back, and then pull into the center line. 1 more big inhale. And exhale. Good. Left hand to the floor, right toes all the way back. Kick your left foot to the left. Breathe in, reach your right hand skyward. Exhale, stretch it behind you to open the front of your heart. Close your eyes, breathe in, right hand all the way up like one long line of energy. And exhale, strong back muscles as you open up the front of your body. Good, last one, breathe in. And breathe out, lean back, roll the shoulders away from your ears. Good. Second side, plant both hands to the floor. This time, inhale, extend your left leg. Possibly bend the knee and take the foot. Once you've got it, plant into the hands, soften your neck, and roll your left shoulder back. How about just one more breath? Good. Exhale, release. Place your right hand under your face. Kick your right toes behind you and stretch your left hand high. Inhale. Exhale, lean back. First one's a little stiff, right? Let it be. Inhale, reach up. Smile. Exhale, lean back. Offer your heart. Roll your shoulders on your back. Inhale, lift your hand and gaze to the sky. Last one here. Exhale, lean back. Good. Both hands underneath your shoulders, please. Walk your knees back. Flip your toes under. Downward facing dog. You pedal out the knees. You might notice the back of the legs tend to be really stiff, tend to be really dense. It's also said that it tends to hold a lot of anger in the back of our legs. I don't know if that's true. So shake your head yes and no, pedal out the feet. And when you're ready to find some stillness, there's always a little micro movement. Bend your knee, radiate your hips up and back, rotate your shoulders wide on the back, and then release the head. As you push into the meat of your pointer knuckle, relax the tissue of your shoulder blades down. One more, big breath in. And breathe out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, float your heart forward, halfway lift. And exhale, go ahead and fold, bend your knees a little. Reach your hands all the way to the sky, come on up. And again, exhale, forward fold. Move up with our breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot to the back for a low lunge. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, straighten both legs and fold. Two more. Inhale. It might feel sticky at first. Soften your face and breathe. And when you're ready, exhale, extend both hips back equally. One more. Inhale, roll your shoulders on your back. It's a back bend here. And then exhale, reach your hips back. Good. Bend your right knee, look forward. Walk your hands forward. Breathe in, lift your left leg to the sky. Stare at it. Exhale, squeeze both knees into a ball. Two more. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, squeeze. Good concentration. Last one. Inhale, push to the edge of your body. And to exhale, go ahead and squeeze. Walk your hands back, step back. Inhale, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Cartwheel the hands up. And exhale, bend your front knee. Inhale, upward warrior. Send the right hand all the way behind you. And exhale, side angle pose. We'll do it twice more. Check your front knee. Make sure it's directly over the ankle. Inhale, reverse. Don't let the knee come in. And exhale, side angle. Ooh, we're burning up the legs. One more. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down. Come to the top of your, just all the way to your belly. And inhale, press the tops of your feet into the floor. Cobra. Press your hands forward as you roll your shoulders back. Exhale to lower your chest back to the floor. Twice more. Close your eyes. Inhale to lift. Feel your whole body. And exhale to lower. Elbows should stay right by your ribs. Inhale, come on up. Little pop of your heart. And exhale, lower. Good. Extend your right arm directly over to the right and roll on the right shoulder and hip. You can take your top leg, the left foot, and stamp it behind your left knee. Close your eyes. Your left hand directly by your heart or any variation that feels good for you. As you close your eyes, you're invited to the internal world. Only yogis pay attention to the way that their mind reacts to the experience. So instead of tuning out, instead of imagining something in a different time or place, take two more breaths just to feel the breath, the sweetness of the breath come in and out of your body. With your eyes closed, look to the edge of the horizon in this dark room of your mind. Inhale, come back to your belly. Extend your left arm directly to the left. Roll onto your left hip and stand your right foot behind your left leg. Close your eyes. And again, as you start to open up the front of your chest, breathe. Relax any part of your body that's unnecessarily gripped. And that goes with the mind too. A thought is like a clenching or a gripping of your mind. So instead, release that and look to the horizon of the dark room in your closed eyes. One more breath, please. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. Go ahead and roll back onto your belly. Inhale, high plank pose. So flip your toes under, lift yourself up. Good. And take your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back. Inhale, extend your arms up to the sky. Lunge pose. Exhale, reach your heart forward and your hands back. Two more with breath. Breathe in, reach your hands high, bend the back knee a little, offer your heart up. And exhale, heart forward. Good. One more breath, just like that, please. Inhale. And exhale, get long line of energy. Good. Land your hands to the floor and your back knee. Ooh, we'll keep it lifted if you did on the left side. Breathe in, lift your heart forward. Breathe out, extend both hips back, lower your chin. You can lift the left toes if that feels good. Plant your foot slowly. Inhale, roll your heart forward. Exhale, shift your hips back. One more. And exhale. Good. Bend your knee, look forward. Walk your hands forward, stand just on your left leg. Reach your right leg high. Inhale. And then exhale, bend both knees and look as you squeeze into a ball. Inhale, extend your right leg to the sky. Watch it. Exhale, squeeze into a ball. One more with breath, please. Inhale. And exhale. Step it all the way back so the foot goes back. Warrior two means we cartwheel the hands up and you're in a square with the front leg or a 90-degree angle. It's a math class in here. Now inhale, extend from your hip through your arm. Exhale, side angle pose. Two more with breath. Inhale, extend, face you. Exhale, side angle. Last one. And exhale, side angle pose. Good. Cartwheel the hands down. Step back and place both knees to the floor. Good. Step your right foot forward. And this time, you might need to put a blanket under the left knee. I'm going to even take my left knee back a little bit so I can come right on the top part of almost the bottom part of the thigh, rather than on the patella bone. King Archer. Grab onto the foot with both hands if that's possible and squeeze your heel to the outer edge of your left hip. Roll your shoulders on your back. Close your eyes or stare at one point right in front of you and take 3 more breaths. And in difficult experience, stay sweet and kind. One more big breath in. Woo, good job. Release the foot. Bring your left hand to the floor and toe heel your right foot over to the right until you can start to open up the front of the hip. Flex your right toes so that you can keep this knee strong and it doesn't have any injury that way. Open your chest. It's called lizard pose. You can bend your back knee. And then lean, like press down into the legs, strong legs, and lean up and back with the chest. And maybe even with the head if that feels good. And take one more breath. Your elbows bend, even though there's lots of energy opening the front of your chest. Good. Exhale. Put your hands on the floor. We'll step back, high plank pose. And then left foot steps forward. Place your right knee onto the earth and come on up slowly. King Archer pose. Bend your knee. Press your heel so you'll square your hips. Notice your right hip's a little back, left hip forward. Pull your left hip back and right hip forward with muscles. And then roll your shoulders onto your back. Now breathe. It might not look like a big tada pose, but this one's pretty big. Take 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more big breath in. Ooh, ooh, good. Release the leg, hand to the floor. Plant the top of your foot and toe heel your left foot over to the left. Now come to the outside edge of your left foot and press softly into the thigh bone to roll your upper shoulder back. Good. Stay here. Or you can bend your knee if that feels really nice for you. Either way, take 3 more breaths. Close your eyes, breathe in, and breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Notice where in your body you can relax a little. Good. And then come out of there. Downward facing dog. Back to my front. However you get there. Pedal out the legs a little bit and then walk yourself slowly to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. And then reach all the way up with your hands and eyes and breathe in. We'll take dancer pose. Release your hands by your side, stand just on your right leg and bend your left knee and take it behind your back. Watch the way this leg works because a lot of people's leg wants to go to the side. So keep it neutral and straight in line with the other leg. Now extend your right arm. Bend your standing leg a little. Roll your shoulders down your back a lot. Kick back into the hand and kind of pour forward like a little teapot. Stare at the floor and breathe as you play around with the 26 different bones in your foot. Begin to kick even more and play with rolling your right shoulder back a tiny bit more. Last big breath. Nice. All right, exhale. Let it go. Second side. Stand on your left leg. Breathe in, reach your right hand high. Bend your right knee. Take it. As you exhale, kick back and lift your heart forward. Stare at one thing at the floor where your neck can stay long, but feel your whole body and deep breaths at the same time. One more big inhale, please. And exhale. Come on down. Good. Simply interlace your fingers behind you like this and take your feet wide. Squeeze your legs, push your feet into the floor. Roll your shoulder blades together and down as you offer your heart up. And then exhale, forward fold. The insides of your thighs kind of roll back and your hips want to shift forward. Drop your head. Let your hands do whatever comfortable. Even if it'd be more comfortable to put your hands on the floor. Go to a place where you can take 2 or 3 really deep breaths. And with these breaths, remember that you are working to choose a more kind attitude towards yourself. You can place your hands on the floor if they're not already. Nice Spider-Man pose. Point your right toes over to the right just a little bit. Bend your right knee. Walk your hands over there and drop your butt down. And then breathe in, walk over to the front. Toes at like a 45-degree angle. Those are math skills. Breathe in, center. Exhale. Breathe in, center. Exhale. We get so lost in thought that we sometimes say the thoughts in our head that we don't actually mean and that are actually really mean, either to ourselves or another. Last one, here you go. So we all want to be kind. Walk your hands to the front of your space. Step back so you can place your knees on the floor and let your toes point and drop your seat to your heels. This child's pose has your knees together. Try that. Take your hands to your heels and drop your head. When you take a few deep breaths and imagine the child that you once were, that you still are, how would you treat that child? Could you tell it that you love it and that you will support? And take one more breath. And then you can bring your hands back forward to the top of your space. And we'll step back for a high plank pose. We're going to feel the front of our body get really strong for a minute. If you want, you can bring one hand to your belly, put it back down, bring your other hand to your belly, put it back down, bring your right knee to your right armpit, step it back, left knee to left armpit, step it back, right knee to left armpit, step it back, left knee to right armpit, step it back, right elbow to the floor, left elbow to the floor. Right foot off of the floor to the height of the hip. Right toes down. Left toes lift up to the height of the hip. Left toes down. Stand on the ceiling, lift your right foot, bend your knee. One more breath. Good job. Last side. Good. Bend your knees, your hips to the floor. Roll your shoulders on your back. You can point your toes, it'll feel nice. Roll your shoulders on your back. Lay your belly down. Lay your head onto your hands. Smooth out your breath and feel how your breath goes along the center of your spine. Notice that when you pay attention to your breath, your mind is completely still and you can be in a space where it is called the wisdom center of your mind. You will start to see thoughts show up immediately as they show up. And eventually you'll learn those thoughts aren't true and you don't have to react to them. You can take a deep breath. Remember, you've lived a long life and you're going to mess up all the time, but you want to be kind. You are kind. You just got to remember all the time, even when you get upset. Bend your knees and take your hands back and grab onto your ankles. Be kind to yourself. So draw your knees towards center. Flex into your toes, roll your shoulders on your back and squeeze your butt. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, press your hips into the floor and start to kick back to lift your chest up. Don't lift your neck up. Like keep your neck long, stare at the floor. Just breathe a few breaths into all the crinkling and movement that's happening in the muscles and tissue. Maybe one or two more deep breaths. Press your low belly into the floor. One more breath. Kick, kick, kick. Good. And release. Lower your head to the floor. Take a big breath in. And a smooth breath out. Look in the opposite direction. Take a big breath in. And a smooth breath out. One more wheel pose. Bend your knees. Take your ankles. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. And when you do that, you kind of pull your belly button up. And that pushes your hips down. And inhale, kick up. Stare at the floor. Back bends are kind of like pancakes. So the first one might not be that good. But the more you do, the better they look and feel. One more big breath in. And breathe out. Good. Let that go. Plant your hands. Lift up onto the hands and knees so you can walk your knees forward and cross up the ankles and come to a seat. Take your right leg over to the right and bend your left knee in. Side body stretch. Nice big side body opener. Inhale, stretch all the way over. As you exhale, cartwheel the hands, plant the fingers pointed back, and reach your hips up in a little back bend. Ready? Inhale, butt to the floor, hand on the shin, stretch. It's a long breath. Maybe you have to take 2 breaths to go from one side to the other. But we're stretching our breath and our body and our capability to be nice even when people are real rude. All right, good. Inhale, come back down. This time square your chest so it's straight in line with the straight leg. Get really tall, breathe in. Tight hamstrings, here you go. This one's going to trigger you. Just stay here or walk your lowest rib towards your knee and then lower your chin. Can you feel that all the muscles along your spine are connected to all the muscles along the back of your leg? Maybe you walk your hands forward if that feels like it offers your heart forward more, but flex your right toes back. Close down your eyelids. Keep your spine integrated, meaning like long and strong and full of energy. 3 more breaths. Relax your teeth and the back of your skull. Take a deep breath into the intense feelings in the back of the body. Good. Inhale, come on up. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Extend your legs. Extend your arms. If you have tight hamstrings, stay here and smile. If you're more flexible in the back of the legs, lift your legs. Good. A strong core is really important too. As we build up these hip flexors, the muscles in the front of our body, we're going to warm them up and prime them to get really stretched in our next back end. So take one more big breath here. Lift up. Cross your ankles, plant your hands, and pick yourself up. Good. Second boat pose. Roll your shoulders on your back. Lift up. Deep breaths. Positive disposition. Even if you look more like this, it's important to notice how do you talk in your head. So pull your chest up and speak with your own capability of listening. One more. Big breath in. And breathe out. Good. Plant your feet. Bring your butt right by your heels and lower down. Take your hands by your hips. Lift your hips by pushing into your feet. Squeeze your tush and interlace your fingers under your back. Walk your shoulder blades towards your spine and press equally into both feet. Reach an energy through your heart over your face. Take 3 breaths. Close your eyes, release any gripping of your teeth. Cultivate kindness by feeling acceptance, by recognizing humility, and by knowing that you can learn from everyone and everything. Good. Unleash your fingers. Let your butt come back to the floor. Put your hands by your hips and take your toes all the way behind your head and then come up to a seat. Second side, we'll extend the left leg, bring your right knee in. Side body stretch, inhale. Over the leg we go. And then exhale, hand behind you, and find a little bit of a back bend. Reach your hips forward. Inhale, hand to shin, sweep all the way over. Side body stretch. And exhale. Start to lengthen your breath. The way you do that is breathe through your nose slowly. Last one. You're amazing. Sit down, square off to this straight leg. Breathe in, sit super tall. Exhale, lean your heart forward. So instead of leading with your heart and caving, or your head and caving your heart in, I want you to lower your head and lead with your heart. Soften your chin, flex into the left toes. Maybe you walk your hands forward if that pulls your heart forward. Close your eyes. 3 breaths. You can be quiet in your mind and breathe sweetly into your body. And feel the loving feeling of compassion. Last breath. Inhale, rise on up. We'll do our final boat pose and our final back bend. So bend your knees, please. Remember, go to a place where you can stay focused, where you can have a concentration, but where you can remain kind, where you can be strong and steady, but have a softness, like you're not crinkling your face, but you're definitely strong. And take one more big breath here. Lift your heart. Awesome. All the way down to the floor we go. This time, full wheel. Take your hands kind of on the top part by your ears, so a little bit away from your shoulders. Point your toes forward. Inhale, press through your feet to lift up. Your toes want to go left and right. Do not let them. Keep pointing them forward. Your low back hurts, so bend your knees and your shoulder and your elbows a little, and roll your butt. Squeeze your butt a little. Breathe in. Work your heart to the back of your room. Relax your head. Take a few more breaths. You got it. And then slowly come on down. Bring your knees into your chest. Grab onto your shins. Rock a little left and right. We'll rock and roll up and down for pigeon pose as our final posture before we get to the resting point. So point one knee forward and take the other leg all the way back. My left knee is forward and my left heel is right by my right hip. It looks like this. You can take either leg forward. And then walk yourself forward. If you could land your forehead on the ground, that's great. If not, maybe take your elbows wide and make a couple fists. You could walk your left knee back or your back knee back a couple inches. That might feel supportive. And then close your eyes and immediately realize that life is a battle in our mind at times. We experience these intense sensations, and sometimes people trigger us with the crap they say. We can't even recognize it, and we just react. But here, feel this. My favorite little joke is that feel the pain in your ass and just breathe to it. Don't talk to it. Don't argue with it. That just builds more heat. Breathe, cooling, accepting, positive energy around it, knowing that it'll change. But sometimes we need to be accepted in order to change. You can walk yourself back up. We'll just switch legs, plant your hands, flip your back toes, step back, step forward. Come on. Walk your hips back. Elbows can fall to the floor. And then again, as your head hits the floor, close your eyes and make this a way that you practice staying calm when something's kind of pinging you in your butt. Our body holds our stories. So as words come up, when we stretch the hips, just breathe through it, see through it, get kind. And then inhale, walk your hands up underneath your shoulders, sit on your cheek, and then breakdance your legs all the way forward. We'll take our final resting posture. So you can either keep your knees bent and hands on your torso. You take your arms wide, legs wide. You can lay on your sides or your belly. But if you lay on your back, make sure you lift your ribs up and roll your shoulders underneath your body. Close down your eyes and take a few moments to pay attention to the world inside. Like, what's going on in your mind? The only way we can start to teach our mind to not be stressed is if we do the work. We have to do these practices. So stay here for a few minutes and simply look through closed eyes. And then notice what you're listening to. See if you can listen to your own thoughts, like make a thought up. Talk to yourself. Usually, our thoughts are solving problems or getting things done. They're usually planning for the future or regretting of the past. What does right now feel like if you take a big breath in? And in your breath out, what would it look like if you breathed out all negativity? When you breathe in fresh, clear, light, bright, positive energy, good vibes. Breathe it in. And breathe out negative, bad vibes. Just self doubt or frustration or stress, whatever it is, start to notice when it shows up. Because your vibes are contagious. And if you could be a little more kind to yourself, I think you would just love life so much more. Stretch your hands overhead. Squeeze your perfect body. Just hug all the muscles onto themselves. And relax it. Bend your knees. Plant each foot on the floor and roll over to one side. Lightly press your fingers into the earth. And bring yourself back to a seat. For a long time, yoga just stays on the mat. We do the practices. We learn some of the philosophy. We think it sounds like a good idea. And then as soon as we're finished, we leave that mind state as quickly as we leave the space. So I want to invite you for the rest of your day to see if you can catch when you get triggered to do something that's not kind. You might not physically be violent to yourself or others. That's the number one rule is no physical violence. But how about with your thoughts and your words? Could you start to refine those? It simply takes noticing it, which takes some years of practice. But once you notice it, you can say, no, that's not true. Thanks for coming and cultivating a little bit of kindness. I hope you give it to yourself for the rest of the day and week and year. Peace. Thank you.